Samuel Diaz III with Southwest Community Health Center, and today I'm bringing you the first of our video series for Mental Health Month. I'm here today joined with Karen Smith. She's one of our leading clinicians and a staple within the Southwest community to all of our coworkers, but as well as her patients. Today we're going to speak to the importance of mental health within our community of color. Karen, thank you so much for joining us today. I personally am super excited.
Well, thanks for having me.
It's going to be a great series, and I'm excited to learn a little bit more along with our audience.
Absolutely.
So within our communities of color, why do you feel that certain individuals may not seek the mental health treatment that they need or deserve?
Well, I think there's a lot of stigmas. Mental health is frowned upon in the community of people of color. Most mistrust the community, the system. Look what's going on the news today. Some don't have health insurance or can't afford it. You have others who, they're seeking people that look like them, and there's not a lot of professionals in the field, that represents them. And, they feel comfortable with people who looks like them. And also there's social determinants to the health. You have housing, you have some worry about food, so I'd rather, spend my copay buying food than taking care of myself,
Yeah.
So when you have to make decisions like that, those are more important to them at that time, to work on.
I can completely relate. I myself have went through therapy and spoke with counselors, and when I was looking, it took a little bit of time for me to find a therapist and a counselor who I was comfortable with. And one of those factors that dealt to the level of comfortability is, can you relate to my culture? That was a big thing for me. And the therapist that I ended up linking up with was, he was Jamaican. He was Jamaican and Haitian, I believe.
Okay.
But he understood Caribbean culture. And there was a very high level of comfort there immediately, which I said, you know what, this is great. This is the place to be.
Absolutely.
So I totally could relate, and I understand, because within, being a Latino male, yeah, it is frowned upon when someone hears that you want to go to mental health or you want to speak to a counselor or whatever. It's, oh, why do you need that? You should be strong. You don't need to talk to anybody. Deal with it yourself.
Absolutely. And funny you should mention culture, because culture plays a major role. You're from Puerto Rico. I'm from Jamaica. You don't have problems in Jamaica. So I'm sure the Caribbean, and most of the Caribbean, even the Spanish cultures, feel the same way.
Yeah, a lot of overlap there.
Yes.
So you mentioned stigmas. What would you say are some of the stigmas that we come along? We're kind of talking about them already.
Yes.
But then what are some tips? What are some ways to deal with those stigmas and move forward? What are some suggestions?
Okay. Well, some of the stigmas, to break it down a little more, there's shame and guilt around this. Fear of becoming vulnerable. Being judged, so that kind of, keeps most people away. Some people just don't have any problems. They're in denial, that there's something wrong. So those are some of the barriers that, and unfortunately, unaddressed mental health, causes more harm than help. So some may make self-destructive choices that ends up making their life worse than better. Some may turn to substance use, alcohol, or other forms of self-medicating. And the toughest one of all is suicide. It does happen.
Yeah, definitely. It's and we see those rates rising, unfortunately, by the day across America, across all cultures, ethnicities, backgrounds. It's definitely rising. What would you say? This past year has definitely exposed, I think, for all of us throughout our community, no matter what your ethnicity is, it has exposed the areas that maybe you were denying yourself some self-love or not being as mindful as you can be, because we got lost in the hustle and bustle. And as you keep yourself busy, I myself can attribute to this. I keep myself busy. It's very easy for me to ignore, the things that are going wrong or the things that are bothering me and not address those issues. So, moving forward, what would you say are some tips to help our community, and how can they show some better self-love or just be a little bit more mindful?
I think one of the most important things is to educate the community. You take care of your physical health. Your mental health is no different. They go hand in hand. Let's normalize, educate them, and break down these misconceptions of what mental health is. We all go through life events and changes that impacts our life in some way or form. It's okay to ask for help.
Yeah.
I think getting the right information from the right people is helpful. Oftentimes, you rely on a family and a friend, and they're like, "Don't do that. You're not crazy."
Yeah.
You're not crazy if you receive mental health services. You're normal. I would like to see myself as normal.
Yeah.
Let's look at this pandemic, for instance. It affected us all. Children, adults. It doesn't matter what color you are. Even myself as a mental health clinician, I experienced anxiety for the first time. So, I had to use some of my tools on myself. Okay, what would I tell my clients to do right now? And, we're normal, we're human.
Yeah.
Okay, so we need to normalize and educate the people of color, that it's okay to take care of yourself. The biggest investment that they can make in their self is investing in their own self-care.
As we were discussing before we started recording, the most important conversations are the ones that you have with yourself. And sometimes it's telling yourself, hey, you're not crazy.
Absolutely.
You are normal, you are human.
Yes, positive self-talk is, one of the interventions. I tell my clients all the time, listen, talk yourself up, empower yourself. I have to talk myself up or, out of things sometimes. It's healthy. Do your deep breathing, do, your meditation, your yoga, whatever you need to, take care of yourself,
Definitely have that outlet to escape sometimes from the regular world around us, and
Absolutely.
have that space to yourself and introspective thought. So
Absolutely.
yeah, cool. So at Southwest, what are some of the services that we offer within our behavioral health, mental health department?
Okay, at Southwest, we offer individual counseling to children and adults. We also have IOP services. Our departments, our medical providers can help bridge that referral.
Okay.
The individuals who are interested in individual counseling can also call the behavioral health department for directions. But I want to encourage anyone, especially the people of color who's kind of hesitant of accessing care, go to where you're comfortable. That's most important.
Yes.
Because if we're talking about barriers, we want to make sure that you access the help that you need wherever you feel comfortable.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that level of comfort, as I was saying before, that was a big thing for me, is finding a place that was comfortable to speak.
Absolutely.
Because it's not something that's normal within our communities.
Mm-hmm.
So we thank you guys for coming today to join us, and we're speaking, again, this whole video series is the importance of mental health. And if you're interested in services from Southwest Community Health Center, we could be reached at 203-330-6000 or online at swchc.org. You could also follow us on social media, @SouthwestCHC. Again, it's the @SouthwestCHC. We're on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and these videos will be posted on YouTube. We'll see you soon. And remember, lead with love, love yourself. Thank you, Karen.
Thank you.